Welcome to the Hemlock State Explorer. That glorious view you see before you is the Pine Creek Gorge, marketed as Pennsylvania's Grand Canyon. But that's not this adventure, that's another adventure that you can check out at hemlockstateexplorer.com. Our adventure now, and you can see the Pine Creek right at the bottom of that, our adventure is to hike to that. So we are hiking down the slope of the gorge all the way to the bottom to Pine Creek, and we'll splash around in that. I think after this hike we're going to need it. That is so beautiful. But after this hike we're going to need it because we are taking the Turkey Path Trail down to the bottom of Pine Creek Gorge. The Turkey Path Trail isn't long. I think it's only about 0.8 miles, less than a mile each way, but it is steep. Fortunately though, there are a lot of switchbacks and some boardwalks. Here's the sign for it. The Turkey Path Trail begins at the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon viewing area. So here's what it says: winds 1 mile down. Okay. As sections of this trail are narrow, steep, and hazardous, proper foot gear should be worn. So I second that. I've been here several times. We'll also keep a lookout for our friend the rattlesnake. I'm hoping to see them. I've not yet seen one on the trail. They are certainly in the area, but I haven't seen any here. Maybe we'll see one today. It's been a rainy day, but the sun finally came out. It's a little bit humid. It's actually quite hot right now, which has helped to dry up some of the humidity. And I'm hoping maybe that we'll see some waterfalls as well from ephemeral streams, since we've just had a lot of rain. We're going downhill now. The path is very easy gravel. It's fairly level, but it won't last for long. So stay with us. Can't wait to share with you the Turkey Path Trail at Pennsylvania's Grand Canyon, Pine Creek Gorge. Thus far, the trail has been through shady hemlock forest, which we really appreciate because the sun is out in force now. The trail has been, as you see it now, very easy, gradual, and we just came from a switchback, and it looks like we're going to another switchback. And let's see if there's a view from up here. Nah, not so much. So we'll continue downhill down this switchback in the direction of some waterfalls and hopefully some more views. Here's another sign: just stay careful, or be careful, stay on the trail. There are a lot of signs like that here, and if you do go off trail, yeah, I can see that would be dangerous. The only thing really challenging about this trail is its steepness, so if you stay on the trail you're really not going to have any kind of trouble. And I guess for really experienced hikers this isn't a big deal. Now, saying that, full disclosure, we're going downhill. That might not be what we're saying going uphill, but as you can see, the DCNR has really taken pains to make this trail nice and accessible for people of all ability levels, as long as you can handle the incline. Here's even a bench up ahead as I say that, and another switchback. It's not like you're going directly up and downhill on a boulder field, as we have done on some of our other adventures. We're in a wet spot along the trail. Not too wet, just a little damp on account of the recent rain, and you can see water typically runs through here. I can hear a waterfall, excited for that. But before we go any further, I just want to point out to you, southern Pennsylvania, actually a lot of Pennsylvania, I would call a poison ivy country. We don't have so much of that up here. This is stinging nettle country. So here is a stinging nettle. You see the leaf arrangement and whorls around a central stem. But if we get in closer, you see those? I'm going to just grab this for your edification. Okay, you can see the barbs on that stem. They're on the underside of the leaves. You see the on the main stem itself. That's stinging nettle, and those are like hypodermic syringes filled with formic acid, and they jab into your skin and break off. And release the formic acid, creating the sting sensation. Here you see with its characteristic white flower. So just something to be aware of in this region. A lot of time when we do gorge hiking, you'll get into some waist-high stinging nettles. It's not extremely painful, but it sure does sting for about 20 minutes. Oftentimes they're found around water. And here's another water plant in this area. This is called jewelweed. I don't see any in bloom right now, but they get some really amazing looking orange flowers. Interestingly, it is said, actually here's a jewelweed in bloom right here. So you see the orange flower? Interestingly, it is said that jewelweed is excellent for treating skin pains, skin abrasions, blisters like poison ivy. So it's funny, you often find things like jewelweed growing right in the same region as poison ivy and stinging nettle. But there's a tip for you, and we're approaching a waterfall. Can't wait to see that. This is the sound that has been enticing us for the last 5 or 10 minutes. We've arrived at a viewing platform of a significant waterfall. Take that in. The cool breeze, the sound of the trickling waterfall, multi-steps. We're standing from a viewing platform taking this in. And I have to give credit to the DCNR. They've done a great job of making this as accessible as possible. The only drawback is that they do not allow people going off trail, and there are signs all over the place to that effect. So this, unfortunately, is as close as we're going to get because we want to abide by the rules. But if this was not so curated and we were allowed to do so, we would go right up underneath of that waterfall, maybe even take a dip. But for now, let's enjoy it for what it is. We just descended a multi-tiered wooden stairway, and here's the last waterfall on this leg. We'll zoom in. And then just below us is the Pine Creek Rail Trail. We've actually passed a number of glorious waterfalls. I guess my only complaint is we really couldn't get close to any of them just because we're not allowed to go off trail here, and there weren't any trails. So it would have been nice to be able to get close to some of the waterfalls. They weren't little trickles. Here's some cascades, but some of the waterfalls were pretty decent, as one would expect on the side of this huge gorge. We've made it to the bottom of the Turkey Path Trail, to the Pine Creek Rail Trail. Down at the bottom of the gorge, this stretches the entire length of the gorge and then some. And let's go take a look at Pine Creek. Some benches periodically spaced along the rail trail. There it is. I think there's a footpath down here. This is an adventure in itself, so look for that, Lord willing, at a future episode at hemlockstateexplorer.com. Here's a narrow path. Mind the roots, and looks like a pipe coming out of the ground as we make our way down to Pine Creek. Success! We've made it! That was a refreshing dip in Pine Creek, and the water is moving on account of the recent storms. I'm actually getting bit on the ankles by flies right now, so I'll make this quick. But if you look directly across in the center of the video, let me zoom in, that's where the Turkey Path Trail resumes on the Colton Point side and then goes all the way to the top of the gorge. We've done that in the past. That's an adventure in itself. So if you're so inclined, you can make that journey. But for us, that'll be another adventure we'll share with you on another day. So let's head back up the Turkey Path Trail to the Leonard Harrison side. Here are a series of impressive waterfalls. Unfortunately, this is as close as we'll get to them because there are no trails. But here's a little bit better view, and I guess we can be happy with that. Let's go up this platform. Here's a view from down here, it looks like. Oh, take that in. That's what I'm talking about. There's actually a smaller waterfall just up above. Unfortunately, we can't see much of what's below. Let's head up here. Okay, some trees in the way. Yeah, the view from the bottom was better. We are on our return trip back, ascending the slope of the gorge on the Leonard Harrison side. And one of the things you need to know before you go is that up until the first waterfall, the trails are manicured gravel, switchbacks, and as you can see right here, a little bit after the first waterfall and most of the rest of the way down, the trail becomes narrow, rocky in places, lots of roots sticking out of the ground. So just be careful. We managed just fine, but something important to know before you go. We saw a number of families here with small children, and they seemed to do okay. I wonder how many made it past this point, the first waterfall, where the trails get a little trickier. So if you bring children, making it to the first waterfall, as long as they can climb up and down stairs like this, shouldn't be a problem. But if your children would not manage well on unsteady ground and narrow paths, reconsider whether you want to take them past the first waterfall. Here's a cool section where the trail curves around some rock outcroppings, and we have a guardrail to the side, and you can hear the waterfalls below. The most difficult part about the return trip is probably the abundance of wooden stairs you have to climb. There's a gradual incline most of the way. The wooden stairs cover the steepest elevation and provide more of a workout even than the graded trails and switchbacks. But these are just the highlights of the adventure. Be sure to check out the full review at hemlockstateexplorer.com, where you can find this and all of our other adventures. Once again, thanks for joining us, and we can't wait to see you on the next adventure.